Awesome. Brandon, just keeping tabs. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Where about are you right now?
I am in the shop in Abbotsford, BC, Canada.
Awesome, man. So what time is it there?
Noon here,
Right,
12.
cool. So you've got the full day ahead of you. Do you
Yeah,
work like you working today?
no, day off.
No. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we had a big chicken fry last night at my house, so
Oh, sick.
cleaning up the house and do that kind of shit today.
Awesome, man. So I mean, what goes on at the shop? What kind of stuff? Do you do this full time or
No, definitely
okay?
don't do it full time. Up front, I have what I do like daily, which is paintless dent repair.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of that, but basically any minor dent or whatever we can fix without painting or like
Right.
refinishing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Been doing that for almost 15 years now.
Awesome. Yeah,
And then
I'm
you
finding
know,
that quite a lot with the builders. Like they've got like a job like that. They kind of
yeah.
and then they need this side as like the kind of like release.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like the fun part too. And I got pretty lucky. Like out back of the shop is where I do my bikes and stuff. So every
Awesome.
time I get a quick second in the day, I'm back here and just fucking around on shit.
Awesome, man. And do you live far from the shop or?
No, 5 minutes. My life's pretty
Yeah,
easy
man.
here. 5 minutes to the shop, 5 minutes to my buddy's place. Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Small town here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like where I live now. And that's what I've done as well. Like with my shop, I've moved, next door and it makes everything so much easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. I used to live upstairs here. I wish I
Yeah.
had that when I was doing the build, but it's
Yeah,
all
man.
good. Yeah.
I it's probably good to be able to get away from it though.
It is. I definitely appreciate that now, but I also miss the fact of like if you have an idea for like something that's going to take 30 minutes or like
Yeah.
I just want to be somewhere rather than sitting in my house, I can just come down here and if I don't
Yeah.
have the ability or the creativity to work, I'll just go, but
Yeah.
yeah, still only 5 minutes. So what am I
Yeah,
complaining about?
man. So take us back to the beginning, man. Like, how did you get into bikes? How did this sickness start?
Yeah, it's kind of like weird. Like I grew up playing sports mostly, just
Hmm.
really into hockey up until
Cool.
I was like 18 years old. Hockey's big in Canada, as you know. And then kind of just dwindled out of that and wanted to get into something else and started getting into old cars. Like I got a first gen Bronco, like an
Cool.
old Ford Bronco.
Shit.
Picked that up when I was like 18 and then started tinkering with that and then slowly got into Volkswagens. And then I think one day I've always been into bikes and cars and everything. And one day as my dad's like, I'm getting a Harley, you should get one too. And I was like, fuck, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
So
cool.
I picked up like an old 78 CB 550, I believe.
Cool.
And then I was like, this is fun. This is quick. And then I like got it. That was like probably '08. So then I started like looking online at like how to customize it and do things to it. And then I saw like choppers and bobbers and everything were kind of getting big at the time. So I picked up a 65 Triumph, like all bobbed out and everything,
Cool.
hardtailed. And then from there it was just downhill. It was like, here
Yeah,
we
man.
go. I'm working on these. I'm riding these. Like,
Sick.
and then I got my first Harley like a year after that.
And that was when in you 08, 09?
Yeah, '08. So I was about 18.
Right.
So
Cool.
I'm 33 now. So
Yeah.
been a good portion of my adult life, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. You got plenty of
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
So your dad, is he well into it as well, or does he just ride or
He just rides.
yeah, cool.
He's a handy dude,
Yeah.
but yeah, I definitely pretty much just tinkered myself and kind of taught myself how to do everything. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
have you got any like mentors or any or friends or anyone there that does the same thing, or have you just is it
Oh, I got a good group of buddies out here. There's probably five of us who ride. One of my closest friends is a welder fabricator, so he's helped
awesome?
me a lot with like what to do. But yeah, basically, I think I got my TIG welder 2 years ago and just kind of sat down and taught myself how to do it. So,
Yeah,
but
cool.
yeah, it's nice asking him
Yeah.
his opinion and doing like helping me with like structural shit and stuff like that.
So what made you enter the competition?
I've been following it probably, I don't know, probably since like 2013,
Yeah.
2015. Just kind of slowly like, oh fuck, I gotta. And then I like started building, or I built a couple Harleys, and then
Mhm.
I was like, this would be cool to do one day. And I went down and what was that? 2019 to Born Free with my girlfriend. Drove down the coast in my van and camped out, did the whole thing, and
Sick.
went to Cooks and saw all the bikes. And I'm like, frick, maybe I could do this one day. And then we rode down, me and my friends here last year, down the coast on our bikes and everything to Born Free again because it was their first time going. And I met James, who was in the top six last year,
Yep.
and all their friends were there, and they were kind of like, "Oh, you could do it, you could do it." And then I saw it come up this year, and I've had this pan
Yeah.
sitting around for, I think I've had it for 3 years, and I've just been slowly collecting parts. And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Fuck it, let's do it." And I was
Yeah,
like,
man.
"If I'm doing this, I'm playing to win or get into the top six." And here we
Yeah,
are now.
sick. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So tell us about this panhead then. I mean, did you have has it been like a set plan? Have you always had the,
Yeah, like right from the beginning, like I always like obviously I've had, like I said, I had it for 3 years. I drove down actually into Washington State to pick it up. It was like
right,
the best deal I've ever seen for a panhead. So I was like, messaged the guy. I was like, he was like selling it all his parts. And then I was like, I'll take the engine and the tranny. And he's like, do you want the whole bike? And we worked that out. So I brought that home and just sat on like just collecting parts. And
yeah,
but yeah, from day one, like going into the competition, I always kind of had the vision of how the bike looks now.
yeah.
Like, I'd sit down with my buddy and I'm be like, okay, I'm making the foot controls out of checker plate. I want the extended front end, like all that shit. So definitely had a plan, but obviously grows as you get into it.
Yeah, I fucking love that checkered plate.
Yeah.
Just that detail, because the oil bag is made out of that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
aluminum.
man.
Actually, the
Right.
welder friend made that. He made like a 12 of them and he was selling them. So yeah.
I love that little
Yeah.
detail. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's so sweet. Like, I don't know, it's funny you see it on like old guys' bikes in like the
Yeah,
stupidest places, the checker plate, and I'm like, and it's coming back in the chopper scene, and like
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, we can make this cool, and we can make fucking little custom shit out of this. Like, not too much that it takes away from the bike, but like when you get up close, you can really appreciate how it accents everything.
I think it makes the bike look mean as fuck.
Oh yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It looks like a fucking ripper. You know?
oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
like day one. I'm like, I'm building the toughest bike I can.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
about this deal on the panhead. I'm curious.
So yeah, like I don't know, around here, I would say a panhead engine is probably 8 to 10 grand. And
Yeah.
I seen this one on Craigslist. But this was before Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace was even popular. And I think I came out of it for a whole bike, 8,000 Canadian. It was in a knuckle frame with a knuckle front end.
Shit.
And then, yeah, and then just a bunch of like, I think the fenders were original and Tombstone Light and all that shit. I kind of slowly
Awesome.
picked what I wanted and sold off what I didn't. But it didn't have a title,
Yeah.
and especially like getting stuff in from the U.S. to Canada is a bit of a nightmare. So I brought it back as parts,
Okay. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
found a title here. That's why I had to put it in the shovel frame because the
Yeah.
frame is titled and everything like that. So
Awesome.
yeah, that's how I did that. I still have that knuckle frame and front end sitting around for another
I was going to ask
project
then.
when that comes.
I
Yeah,
was going to ask, did you sell it or did you keep it? But
no, I kept
that's the type of
those.
thing you
Yeah,
want to keep. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's a fucking deal.
yeah.
Jesus.
No, it was, and like it hadn't been I had the license plate. It hadn't been on the road since '92.
Fuck.
Yeah, so
Just sitting there, fucking.
yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
funny thing. I when I got it, I was like, I gotta try and fucking start this thing. Like, the
Yeah.
guy's like, I don't know if it'll run. So I get it home one night. We're back at midnight, so I'm at the shop first thing in the morning trying to start this thing, and I'm kicking it for like hours on end, just in the points, timing, everything. Cut like gets late again. My fucking leg's sore, so I'll come back again and try adjusting the push rods tomorrow.
Yeah.
I jack it up, just the push rods, put it back down, and go to kick it, and the neck or the stem in the front end snaps, and I go head over heels over the
Oh
bike and
shit.
face plant. And I was like, it's coming apart now. Like, let's
Yeah.
take it apart. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Either
had
that or
enough of
set it
it.
on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so we opened up the top end. I had a buddy of mine help me because I've never been into an engine really. I
Mhm.
mean, trying to at least rebuild it. And
Yeah.
sure enough, it was fucking mint. Like I just had to get the cylinders rehoned, new pistons, new rings, and back together.
What a fucking bargain.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I had a nightmare of a time getting it started though. It has like, I don't know, like an aftermarket flywheel or something with the
Right.
timing mark, and trying to get, I'd never messed with a distributor before, but pretty similar to a cone or whatever timing it, but I just couldn't figure out the timing. And you're fucking looking online, you're looking in all the books, and finally you're scrolling through one of the forums from like 2006, and buddy's like,
Yeah.
oh, you got to do this, and I'm like, thank God for that guy. Like I
Yeah,
don't
man.
know if I would have figured it out.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that shit. I love
yeah.
I love finding those little hidden gems. You know,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah, it's
probably my
awesome.
like favorite kind
Yeah,
of part of like of this, you know.
yeah.
So what about where'd the inspiration for the build come from? Like,
like like I said, like I had a vision how I wanted to build it, but obviously like tough bike and like 60s with a bit of 80s infusion in there, I'd say where I
yeah,
kind
man.
of got it. Like and like even from day one, it was either going to be red or black,
Yeah, cool.
but black's a cop out. I think like black
Yeah,
is sick, but we're building a show bike here, so you got to do something.
yeah,
And I have a black shovel, so can't have two black bikes. I mean, you can, but
yeah, yeah. No, no,
variety is nice.
but I mean, this fucking competition's wild.
Oh,
You, you,
it's
you've
insane, man.
you've got to be fancy, haven't you? You know. So
Yeah,
I get what you're
like
saying with the black.
yeah, like even from like day one, I was like, I'm gonna build this bike how I like it, and I like them dirty and crusty, and
Yeah,
and I started getting into it, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta chrome this, I gotta chrome this, I gotta paint this. Like,
yeah,
it's not gonna be crusty. Like, let's get
yeah,
real here. And I mean, I'm glad I went this route because you
yeah.
only get, I mean, for all I know, I only get one chance to build a show bike. So yeah,
It's definitely a fucking. I think it's a really good hybrid between.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, it was hard like when I redid the engine because it had like the best crust on it, and I was like,
yeah,
fuck, I just love this, but it just wouldn't suit
yeah. Of
what's
course.
around it. So just one thing led to another, and then I was like, everything's chrome, everything's shiny.
Yeah,
I ride it, it'll get dirty, and it'll look like it's fucking lived in. So
yeah.
that's what I
Exactly.
like on a bike, exactly. So yeah,
Yeah, that's what um that's what Bobby was saying about his. He was saying like, I'm gonna clean it for the show, but then after that,
yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
fucking.
yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah,
I ride it now. Like I've been putting it around a bit, not putting too much on it, but definitely some break in, and yeah, I clean it after every time. But
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, after the competition, fuck it. However it looks, it looks. That's what I
yeah,
can't
man.
wait for.
How's that motor run? How do you find it? Is it?
It's different. Like first Panhead,
Yeah,
compared to my shovel, it's a whole nother
yeah.
beast. Like I like it, but it definitely feels older, if you know what I mean, like
I know.
between your
Yeah,
legs, like
yeah,
the power, how it sounds, everything. Like, and I thought my shovel felt that way when I got that, but
yeah,
now I can understand, like, oh, like there is a difference for sure.
yeah,
I can
yeah.
only
Totally.
imagine earlier how that would feel.
That's exactly how I would explain my pan as well. Like
Yeah,
it runs good and it's a strong motor. It's really pokey, but
yeah,
yeah, it just feels and sounds older. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Were there any parts on this build that you struggled with?
Um, right here. I had a hard time molding that taillight into the fender
Right.
because I don't know. You always see people mold like the glide lights in and stuff like that. I've never really seen an iron cross in, and it's like one of those shitty, I don't know, made in China probably. And
Yeah.
I bolted it on, and then I wanted it molded in, but I'm not gonna fill it with Bondo because that's just too easy and
A
shitty.
cop out.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I had to like make all these little tiny pieces out of steel and weld around it,
All
and
right,
then
cool.
mold it with the filler and everything. So it is pretty solid on there. It's not just
Yeah.
bolted on and slapped mud on the side and
Yeah.
painted. So yeah, that, and yeah, that was probably the hardest part to like figure out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about that bike is the front end.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
Can
I love it.
you tell us about those
So
forks?
it's I guess two sets of 33.4 mil
Mhm.
lowers
Yeah.
cut welded together, and a
Right.
10 over front end. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool
Yeah.
as fuck. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then
It just looks so clean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is people online, or you talk to people at swaps, because like we went to a swap like, I don't know, March or even February, and some guy was selling them for $100. We're like, let's fucking buy all these and we'll make some more. And the guy's like, you can't do that. It's not gonna fucking go right. And
Yeah.
this front end fucking solid, man. Like
Yeah.
I was worried it would be sloppy as shit, but no, dude,
It
it actually
works.
works well. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Who painted it?
I did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Just in the shop here, rattle
Yeah.
cans,
Oh,
and
really? Yeah,
yeah.
sick.
Yeah, it's International Harvester Red. Got
Awesome.
like 5 or 6 rattle cans, hung it from the ceiling, just sprayed it, wet sanded that, and then did the masked off all the flames. I airbrushed those, but
Oh,
just
cool.
with rattle can paint, just sprayed it into a cup, poured it into my airbrush, and then
Sick.
feathered that in, and then just some good 2K clear over that.
Fucking right, man. You,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. I thought it had been like
Yeah.
personally done. It looks fucking
Yeah.
great.
A lot of people have been saying that. I'm super happy with how it turned out. Like, I left the night I painted it like just the base red, and it was like a little bit like how a rattle can would look. And I showed
Yeah.
up in the morning and it was like glass, and I'm like,
Sick.
whatever happened here overnight? Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
How did you find the competition? You know, like the deadline, the how did you find that?
yeah. It was definitely hard. Like,
Mhm.
I knew I could. What was it? It's pretty much 6 months, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I knew I could do it because I've definitely taken on a project on the winter,
Yep.
here in the winter, and then been riding in the summer.
Yep.
But like to the quality or level of the build, I didn't know.
Yep.
But I like I said, I'm pretty lucky here. Like any spare moment I would have at work, and we're slower at work in the winter here, so I could work my days around. I can have 2 hours on the bike and
Awesome.
do 4 hours of work, and then stay 2 hours later, and I still have a
Yeah.
life. Like obviously there was those stupid late nights and early mornings and all that shit, but I got pretty lucky with how I was able to work my work schedule around building this bike. And then just like little things like setting small deadlines for yourself. Like I want to be frame done this, like frame molding done this day and all that shit. So I was pretty able to keep on track with that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, for my personal goals at least.
Tell us about the rules of the competition because I like there's rules like you have to post and you have to
Yeah.
tell us
So
about them.
you have to post once a week on Instagram, like a post, not just a story.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I've heard people can get kicked out. I don't think I've never seen it, but I
Yep.
have heard that can be the case. I mean, it's kind of hard to post once a week when you're like your shop's a mess and you got shit everywhere and
That's what I
you've
imagine. It
done like
sounds
one
really
little
simple.
time.
Yeah.
Pardon?
It
Oh
sounds like a
yeah,
really simple thing, just post once a week, but
you
I
get
can
caught
see
up in
how
the build. You
yeah.
get caught up in the build too. Like, oh, I want it to look this way for these next photos. Like, you're like, I don't want to just show I fucking welded on a kickstand bracket. Like, because
Yeah.
sometimes that's how it goes. You get like one little thing done in a week, and then I don't know, 2 days later, it's a roller or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just shit like that. So yeah, it was hard, but and I'm not a social media guy. Like, I think I got Instagram like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and I've had 40 or 100 followers up until this competition, and
Yeah.
now it's just shot up. Like, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask is how do you find the social media thing? Because
Yeah.
it's a whole new kind of beast, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you got to do it these
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
especially if you want to get somewhere. Like, I mean, everyone's recognized through social media now. You're never going to like get pointed off the street. I mean, you might, but you're not gonna be like, that's a sick bike. Come to this competition, or you're gonna be in this magazine. It's
Yeah,
always,
totally. Yeah.
yeah. So it's tough, but it's the way of the game, right?
Might sound like a bit of a weird question, but have you received any hate? Because that's
Honestly, not really. I would
good.
say
Good.
the only hate was probably the dude telling me the front end wouldn't work,
Yeah, cool.
or like just shit like that. But honestly, nothing but support
Good.
from like, yeah, everyone, just like people who followed me before or even new people. And it's just like, coming home at the end of the day and seeing people being like, dude, your build is so sick. Like,
Yeah.
it really makes you want to go back the next day and keep going. And like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
It's I'm happy. I'm glad that's the
Yeah.
case because like you speak to some guys and like not just in this competition, just it doesn't matter how sick their build is. These like little savages come out from the
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
woodwork and just like
Yeah.
rip shit to bits and fucking if
Yeah.
you've worded something wrong or I had a guy the other day, man. I thought he was gonna have a mental breakdown because I just posted up a video of my panhead and I just put 49 panhead. And
Yeah.
because I didn't say 49 panhead in a shovel frame, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He's like, you're a fucking fraud. You're fucking
Oh,
lying to
God.
people. Whoa.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But I think
Yeah.
Collins had some of that, because I
Yeah. I
that's with the
chatted with him
motor
a
now.
bit. So, yeah, I think he did get a bit of that. I don't know. I don't know why people are out to do that. It
It's crazy,
sucks,
isn't
but
it?
yeah,
Yeah, there's no room for that shit anymore, I don't
no,
feel.
there's no
Not
point. Like, what are you gonna
no.
achieve? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
But I mean, they're probably sat at home with no bike,
Yeah,
just
probably.
gremlins.
Yeah, yeah,
So, since we're talking about other builders, the other builders in the competition, what do you think, man?
yeah,
Who's your? They're all fucking good. Do you know what I mean? They're all
yeah.
they're all
It
amazing.
was a, it was a at the whole, like, even from the beginning, it was a whole like interesting collective of
Yeah,
the bikes that were being built. Um, Definitely everyone that got into the top six, I think, was deserving.
yep,
Um, like, obviously you've heard Al's bike was just insane. Like,
yeah,
the amount of craftsmanship and stuff, and like, personally not my taste, but
yeah,
unreal bike.
yeah.
Like so much work, and even like Collins, like, what the hell? Like, that thing is sick.
But
Um,
I'm stealing this from Bobby, but I just really, really agree with it. Like this one in particular, I love how it's like you've got Al like on
yeah,
wizard fucking level, and then
yeah,
you've got Colin building that amazing bike in a fucking storage container with a
yeah,
grinder. What the
yeah,
fuck? You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just going from one end to the other. It's really cool.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty crazy. Like, when you put your name in for the competition, I think you got to kind of say like what you're doing, what you do, where you work out of. And like, it's nice that they choose an array
Yeah,
rather than just like the same dude in their shop or whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you get to see everything. But yeah, he took on a lot with that one.
yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to speaking to him. I'm
Yeah.
gutted. I'm gutted he didn't finish it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it was possible, man.
Like, coming down to like the 2 or 3 week mark out from when Biltwell came to us, I was rooting for him.
Yeah,
And but I was just like, how is this possible? I've seen
yeah,
his progress. Like, he was progressing great, but like,
yeah,
obviously 3 weeks time, and like, it wasn't even barely a roller. Like,
yeah, man.
but fuck, good on him for taking on that project, man. Like,
When did you finish yours? Was yours finished in good time or?
yeah, I was done. Like my personal goal was 2 weeks before they got here. I wanted it running, riding. I
Cool.
wanted to be able to, when they show up, one kick, let's go for a ride and fucking
Yeah,
go.
sick.
So, and yeah, I was pretty much right on that. I was like 2.5 weeks before they showed up here. So I was May. It was like last couple weeks of April, I was done. Yeah.
Awesome. How are you getting to the show? Are you riding down there? Well, how far are you from
It's pretty far. I mean, we rode down last year in 5 days. So we would do 4 to 6 hours a day riding. So, but we're going to rent a truck, or I rented a truck. I'm going to truck down, probably get there on the Monday or the Tuesday and just hang out in California for a couple days before the show.
Cool.
And then we're riding back up the coast on Monday after the show.
Awesome.
So I'm going to ride this. Me and three other buddies are going to ride up.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's another rule, isn't it? You have to ride it from somewhere. You have to ride it to the show from
there's a 50-mile ride.
Yeah.
And it's got to make it under its own power or you get disqualified. But you have quite a time. Like when they were here, he said we try and get out by 8 or 9 in the morning, and you have till 5 at night to get there.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, I mean, you all ride in a group, but you know, if shit happens and you're broke down or something, at least you can try and fix it on the side of the road. Because, he said bikes are on stage, and if it's not by 5, then he calls it. So, yeah. Is it like a
fucking, when you like enter this and you come down to the fucking final 6? Is it like a little group chat between the 6 of you? Or
there was a group chat for all 20 of us.
Right.
And that was pretty wild. It was going pretty good. There's good banter, but I like when it got cut down to final 6, it was pretty quiet. You know, you get the odd thing here and there and encouragement from other dudes and good jobs and stuff like that. But we're pretty modest, quiet group. I think this year I've heard in the past they've had, you know, witty back and forth shit the whole time. But this year was pretty quiet.
And you help each other out and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, like I remember some guys were, do you know how to do this or get this or like mill this part or blah blah blah. So there's definitely like camaraderie there. Like everyone wants everyone to make it in the end.
That's another thing I love. Like that's how it is now. You know what I mean? It's not that kind of holding back information so then, you know, I can win, or you know what I mean? That's cool.
I mean, why not help someone out if they need it? Like I don't get it. Like
totally. We've passed that because there's no original ideas anymore. There's no all, you know, it's all out there. It's all fucking
you're gonna get the information somewhere. You might as well do it quicker.
Totally. Yeah. So is there anything else you want to add, man?
Not really.
No.
Hopefully whoever listens can come out to the show and check out the bikes and have a good time.
I'm really fucking hoping to be there.
Yeah? You plan on coming out?
Yeah, they've invited me out. Yeah. What is it now? It's like 3 weeks.
I'm leaving 2 weeks yesterday. So it's about 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm hoping to get out there.
Nice.
But it's gonna be a last minute thing if I do.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. I was listening to a few of yours the past few days, just kind of getting some info, and it's really cool. Like I watched the one with Max and some of your other guys, and it was awesome. I'm pretty stoked for you what you're doing. It's cool to get information and hear these guys chat about stuff, and it's pretty awesome.
I really appreciate that, mate. That's all I'm going for. Is like, I know that there's conversations that I would love to be a fly on the wall and hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's all I'm trying to like deliver, really.
Yeah.
No, cool, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on, man. And I really I hope I get to meet you in person in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I hope so too, man.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Good luck for the show, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome, dude. Have a good day, man.